I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. and welcome to Solo Sunday with Calcifer. I say Solo Sunday because hopefully this is a Sunday series. I don't know, we'll find out. But for right now, oh, 1 second. Okay, we're gonna have to do this first. He's in biting mode. Rawr, rawr. This is basically Solo Sunday is a new series we're doing on the channel. And this video, if it doesn't go up Sunday, that means then it's monster. If it doesn't go up Sunday, then I'm sorry. But basically, we're going to be playing a solo game, as well as giving you my thoughts if it's new to the channel. This is new to the channel. We're playing R.A.V.E.L today. I have to play with Calcifer first, so this is not technically a solo game over here. He's going after me. He's going after me. He's really got teeth over here. Anyways, today we're going to be playing R.A.V.E.L. R.A.V.E.L is from Impatience. It's part of the mini-series of games. And the basic idea of it is we are trying to piece together the secrets of R.A.V.E.L. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the cards out over here. This will be easy enough to follow. Calcifer aside, he's going to give us time and attention. Now we're going to play in slightly harder mode because I've already beaten this game in easy mode. I've played this a few times by now, but I'm going to be playing it with you and then giving my thoughts. Feel free, you will see it. I'm going to make sure you can see it, don't worry. But feel free to jump straight to final thoughts if you just want my opinion and rating on it. But you know that I enjoyed enough to pick it for Solo Sunday after having played it multiple times, which may or may not happen with games I don't enjoy. I don't know. We'll find out. So the first thing we're going to do over here is we're going to go ahead and roll the dice one at a time and then placing them from top left to, oh, Cal, that's not, okay, we got a 2 over here again. We have a, let's drop 1, trying not to look at them over here. We have a 4. We have a 2 again. Dear Lord, we have a 1. Okay, we need like 5 or 6 over here. We need some flexibility. Another 1, and we have a 6. Okay, so Cal, if we can get that 6 over here. So we're going to place this card out over here. Cal's just going to hang out. We're going to take 8 tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to give Calcifer his dice so that he can feel like he's playing as well. Calcifer, let's get you a few more dice over here. We got these over here. Cal likes feeling involved, so he's gonna get some dice. Okay. But then we're going to take our cards. Now we need 8 of these tokens. These tokens are going to help us out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have another one over here, but we are not using that one. So these are our 8 tokens. We're going to push them off to the side a little bit because we need some space. Then we're going to take the basic cards over here. Now I'm going to need the rule book to double check things because while I have played this a few times, this is my first time playing with the advanced cards. The advanced cards are just more difficult, but also give you a better reward. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're going to play the wild advanced mode. So there's 16 cards over here. I'm going to remove 4 of them and replace them with 4 advanced ones, and I'm going to do so wild. So 4 of these go away. We're going to shuffle up the advanced ones, and we're going to put 4 of the advanced ones in. You could do more of a controlled version of the game, where you basically replace the versions of the basic cards with advanced cards. This will make more sense as we play it, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. So also, I kind of want to be surprised, but there would be more control over seeing what happens in the game if you did it with the, the more controlled variant. Okay, so we now have our piles of cards over here. We have our advanced, our basic, and we're going to create 4 piles of cards around this puzzle. And our goal is to satisfy the goals on each of those 16 cards in order to win the game. So, let's go ahead and do this. Let's place some cards out, and let's tactically reposition this so we can get as much space as possible while letting Calcifer hang around with us. So, cards 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top card, it becomes visible. Ooh, our first advanced one already. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the top one becomes visible. That's going to be a basic one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, the top one becomes visible. We place this out. Technically, I should place it out first before seeing the card, or maybe if I was really fast, I was, checking where things go. We're going to give ourselves a little space, and here's what we have to do. So, the way we have to do this over here is we have to satisfy the goal on the top part, and then we get the reward on the bottom part. This one wants a 1, 5, and 3 over here, and I believe, we're going to double check this, that's a 7 advanced. I believe it could be in any configuration. All 3 dice have uneven values. Oh, so it's uneven values. Have values. Oh, no. It has to be specifically, the advanced card is specifically, it has to be a 1, 3, and 5. It doesn't have to be in that configuration, but a 1, 3, and 5. This one is, this side of the die has to total 7 or less, which it already does. So that's probably where we're going to start. This one over here is you have to have 2 dice of the same color on this side. And this one is you have to have a 1, 2, and 3, I think it's specifically. So 5 is going to be, all 3 dice have values less than 4. So all 3 of these dice have to be values less than 4. Now the way we can spend our tokens over here is you can spend 1 token to swap 2 dice, adjacent dice. It has to be adjacent dice. You have to swap adjacent dice. Or you spend 2 tokens to rotate a die to any side that you want. That's what you're trying to do. So to that end, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fulfill this card here. This card already, it's fulfilled. That size is less than 7. If we want, we can take the ability, the reward, right away, which allows us to swap any 2 dice. This is where we want to gamify things. This has to be a 1, 3, and a 5, which we don't really have a 3 and a 5 right now, so it's going to be a little tricky. We don't have a 3 or a 5 anywhere, so we're not going to use that one red. We're going to try to focus on that one less. We do get to see this before we make the swap. So we flip over the next card. This one wants 3 different colors on this side, which we again have. This is amazing. This is great. All right. Now we could do a swap such that it satisfies this, because if we swap this, let's see, let me think this through. If we swap the 2 over here, yeah, so if we swap these 2, like so, then that means we'll be able to fill this side because we have 2 of the same color, and this side because we have all values less than 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to do that. First things first, though, is we're going to fulfill this card, because this one's gone now. We fulfilled that goal. Now in this card, we have all 3 different colors, so we're going to immediately fulfill it, adding 2 tokens to our pool. Okay, we're going to just, that's a simple one to fill. There's no reason not to. There are times where you don't want to fill a card right away. This one, I believe, has to be 3 different colors and 3 the same number. Let me just double check that one. 14A. The 3 dice have to have equal values and all different colors over here. So if we got a 1 over here, a 1 in either color, if we just made this a 1, if we just make this a 1, we already fulfill that card. And this one, the reward though, it lets us basically take an entire row of cards and re-roll them. I may choose not to shuffle. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. We can take one line, re-roll 1 to 3 dice, and place them as you wish. Okay, so we can, this will give us a lot of flexibility. We're going to hold off for a second. Let's do this side first, because this side, this one wants all the same number. We don't need that. This one wants 2 of the same color, but this is going to let us shuffle the stacks, which we don't want to do yet. So I'm going to take, I think we're going to do this one first, okay? The order does matter here. We're going to resolve this one first, but that means we're going to spend 2 tokens, and we're going to set that 4 into a 1, okay? Now we have all of them being the same value and different colors, and now we can take a row. We can take any row and re-roll whichever ones we want, and then reconfigure it. So we don't have to roll them, but we could re-roll whichever ones we want, and then readjust where they go. And I think it makes the most sense. Let's go ahead and see the card underneath it. This one wants 2 whites over here. Okay, that we can work with. We can work with that-ish, can we? Let's rotate. Yeah, I think we're going to take this row over here. So what we're going to do specifically is we're going to take these 2, and we're going to roll these, and then we can see where we want to place them. We're hoping for a 3 and a 5. We got a 5 and a 4. I can work with that. We're going to place them here. We could arrange them however we want, but this is good enough for me. So this card is now done. We've achieved that card. Let's see where we want to go next. We still could do this one. This allows us to move a card. Does it have to be to a clockwise? Reward, move 1 face of card from one stack to another. The card on top. Okay, so what we're going to do now, yeah, I think this works. What we're going to do now is we're going to cash in this reward. All these dice are less than 3, so we're going to then do this. We're going to reveal this card, and then we're going to move a card to another stack. Then specifically what we're going to do, this one has to be a 0, 1, or 2. I'll explain this one soon, okay? It has to be a sequence of numbers, basically, that are not adjacent. It'll make more sense. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this one, and we're going to move it over here. Okay, which does leave an empty stack, but I think we're fine with that right now. Now that this is over here, we have 2 whites on this side, so we're going to use that to cash in this reward. We're going to see the card underneath it, which we already knew because we covered the stack, and we're going to flip a die to its opposing side, which means we flip this to the 3, because the 4 turns to a 3, which means this is now done, and now we can do this one, which allows us to rotate a board. This is where I have options, but I don't know if I want to rotate the board yet. So I might not cash that in yet. This is where you have to know when to cash things in, because right now, I don't love this one, but this basically is, you have to have a straight. Okay, so a straight could be a 4, 5, 6, could be a 3, 4, 5, but it has to not be adjacent. So you can't go 4, 5, 6. You could go 4, 5, 6, if that makes sense. Which means I could do 1, 2, 3. If I spend 2 to change this to a 3, and then I do this, giving me those 2 right back, which I think makes sense because there might be ways to do it better later, but I think that's still good for right now. This will now reveal, and we now have a 4, 5, 6. So all the dice need to be a 4, 5, 6 on this row for this one to work, which is good. We can work with that. But I think for right now, now's the time to go ahead and cash this reward in. So I don't love it though, because we're going to do it. We're going to do it because we have the alternative. This could be very helpful to us later. We just have to maintain this row. But I can't guarantee it comes up in the right spot. No, we're going to cash it in. We're going to cash it in. So we're going to cash in the 1, 5, 3 over here. That's going to allow us to rotate this center board 90 or 180. So let's start by seeing what pops up. This one wants a 1, 3, and a 5. This is the easier version of that. That's incredible. We got so lucky with that. Okay, Well, that's great. This one could be any. This one's a little easier. They could be any combination of 1s, 3s, and 5s. It doesn't have to be a 1, 3, and a 5. So we're not going to rotate the board because that would be silly. We're going to immediately cache this in and choose whether we want to rotate it 90 degrees, which we're not. We're not going to do so. We're going to look at the board as is. We're going to choose just to cache that in. We're doing great. We're doing great as far as the overall puzzle here. Then we are going to, let's see. I think we want to do this now. We can do this later. It's not a rush. So I think we're going to do this now. This one, we're going to cache in. We have 2 whites over here. Let's see if we want to do the ability. This one wants the 2 dice to add up to the other die. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take all the cards and redistribute them. That's what this reward is. So we take all the cards, put them all face down, and redistribute them to all the various places on the board. Okay, so we're going to shuffle them up. It gives us more cards in various locations. It could hurt us. It could, if we get that blue on this side over here, as opposed to these 2 sides, that gives us less opportunity. So let's shuffle this up over here and see where things go. We're going to place out 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be as even as possible, but outside of that, you have control. So because of that, I'm definitely going to want to have more cards there, and we'll place this one over here. Then we reveal the top over here. 2 oranges on this side. That's not what I wanted. 2 dice adding up to the... These 2 dice have to add up to the other die, and they can't be the same color. Then we have this one, a 0, 1, and 2 in order. Okay, let me just double check that one. That's 11A. All 3 dice in this card must form a street. They must be next to each other in ascending order. So we have to have a 1, 3. Well, we'll show you. We'll show you how it works. And then we have this one, which wants a 4, 5, and 6 on this side. So right now, this is when we need these tokens, because we've been doing great without these tokens. We have 8 of these left. You can burn through these very quickly if you're not careful. So a 0, 1, and 2 is not the hardest. 2 swaps will do it for me. So if we do swap to there and swap to there, that would work. Do I want to do that? I think I do. I think I do, because I'll show you why. We're going to do this to here. Okay, that's a swap. That costs us 1. Then we're going to swap again. That's going to cost us another 1. But this helped us achieve 2 sides, because we have the 0, 1, 2 up here. We have a straight, a 1, 2, and 3, where we're going to take 3 tokens right back. And again, there's no reason not to take that reward right away. It's an easy one to do. We're going to flip this over. There's our 2 blues. Beautiful. But then, more importantly, or just as importantly, we now have 2 dice adding up to the 3rd die in different colors. A 2 plus a 3 equals a 5. That's going to give us that reward, which I need to decide if I want to take it now, because it lets us re-roll an entire row, which I think I do want to do. So yeah, we're going to do this right now. So we're going to cash in this reward. So all of those are done, and we get to pick an entire row, re-roll any that we want, and rearrange how we want, which means we're going to pick this row because it'll guarantee us getting that one over there. So watch it happen. So we're going to get rid of this card over here. We now have an empty slot again. We're going to roll these. Let's move Calcifer's die. We got a 5, 2, and 3. We're going to put the 5 over here because that will help us. That's why. We have the 5, 3, and 2 over here. These need to be 4, 5s, and 6s, which is probably doable because we got the orange down here. We have the blue up here. This one allows us to twice increase or decrease the value of a die. There's a few things we can do here, but I think the easiest thing is let's go ahead and spend one of these tokens. We're going to spend a token, and we're going to swap this down to here. That gives us 2 orange dice on this side, which means we can now flip a die to its opposing face. So we're going to cash in this reward. We will look at this first. This wants the 2 dice to equal the 3rd. Okay, that's not going to help us right now, so we're going to worry about it later. We're going to switch this to this 5. Okay, that's going to switch to the 5 face over there. So that's going to go away there. And now we want to take into account both these rows. We currently have 2 5s. If we get to a 4, we can now do this. This side we're ready to go on. And this side we want 2 faces to equal the 3rd. So the way we can handle that is we can use this. We're going to cash in the 2 over here. Okay, so we're going to cash in those 2. We get to add or minus 1 twice. We're going to add to this one, making it a 4. And then we're going to subtract from this one, making it a 4. That's going to allow us to cash in this reward, which I don't want to do yet. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cash in this reward, okay? So there's a 4, 5, and 6 because we get to see what's underneath it. So again, we have 4, 5s, and 6s over here. We see what's underneath it. I think we're good. I think we are good to go. This is like, wow, this is actually the best game I've had by far. Ending with 8 tokens is insane. So now what we got to do is we do this one over here. We move this, we completed that. We're not cashing the reward in. We now get to do this one over here, which is 1 plus 4 equals 5. So we're good to go, which allows us to re-roll a row. So we're going to re-roll this row, because this card is done over here. And the reason we're going to re-roll that row is because it doesn't really matter what we get. We're going to place that over there and that over there. The numbers do not matter. The point was that we got 2 blacks, and then we're done. That is how you play Ravel. that's exactly how you play Ravel, which stands for, by the way, it stands for Rare Artefact Vertiginous Enigmatic Logical. That's a horrible acronym, but the game itself is pretty good. That's how you play a game of Ravel. You're basically going through a puzzle of cards over here. You can play the advanced mode, would be basically having as many advanced cards as possible. You can substitute between 1 and 15. Why between 1 and 15? Why not between 1 and 16? You may also decide to play with all 16 advanced card cards. That's interesting. That's interesting. Like, it does say you can start the game with more than 8 tinker tokens. Basically, you can add more tokens to start with if you want to make the game easier. But the way you make the game harder is it says you substitute 1 to 15 cards. I don't know why it doesn't just say 1 to 16. It has a little note at the bottom saying you could do all 16. So maybe that's just because of the language of substitution, because once you're doing all 16, it's not really substitution, it's just a whole different deck. But that's how you play. That's how you play a game of Ravel, which means it's time for my thoughts. I like this game. I like this game. Now, the biggest potential complaint I could have, I don't have it yet, because I've lost this game and I've won this game. I've gotten better at it the more I played, because that's very often how games tend to work. Not always, but it can work that way, and it certainly has for me. But I've enjoyed playing through this. My first game, I think I lost. My second and third, I won. My third, I lost. And this one, I won, and arguably the best one so far. There is a pattern of figuring out which abilities and options you have, knowing certain types of cards, and this is where the controlled substitution is going to guarantee you certain things in play. You'll know that you have certain times you can flip the board. You'll know you have certain times you can rotate a die to its opposing side. So if you do a controlled structure, meaning either the starting cards or the advanced cards, or just substituting out the ones, then you have a degree of control over the types of abilities and obligations you'll have coming up, which you can and should plan around. And again, planning around those things will make your life a lot easier as you play this more. The wild way could help you or could hurt you. You don't really know what's happening. But I've really enjoyed this puzzle. This is actually one of my favorite games from Impatience recently. I will say that comes with the qualifier. This is new to me. This is still fresh. So I've played through a lot of the Impatience games. I really enjoyed the puzzles that they've given me. They do fantastic solo puzzles that I think are, if I had to say a single company that puts out the best solo puzzles in general, it's definitely Impatience. Not necessarily the best solo game singular, but the overall best solo puzzles come from Impatience. Probably next up is Button Shy after that, and then after that, I don't know if there's a company so much as individual games that I enjoy. I might be wrong. There might be a company that I'm not thinking of. But yeah, I really like this one. This is an easy 4 out of 5 for me. It's not higher only because it's very much a one-trick pony. I anticipate this being the kind of game that I will really like and then eventually feel like I've played it out. One of the things that they've generally done well with their games, with their bigger box games, is there's more to the game. There's more to the puzzle, so you kind of can escalate through it, and it gives you more longevity. Like the Oniverse, most of the games in the Oniverse I've had for years in my collection before eventually moving on from, like eventually feeling I'd seen enough of them. And even the newest ones, I still haven't played. Now I've played Siberian. I haven't reviewed Siberian. I haven't played Urbion yet. So some of their newer games I still haven't gotten to, but in general their games have had a decent amount of longevity, but not sticking around forever. The nature of them being solo puzzles is at a certain point you can feel like you've seen it all. This is a fantastic little puzzle. I mean, the biggest complaint I have now, I guess, is the fact that the box could be like more travel friendly. You can probably throw this into a plastic bag outside of the rules. You'd have to have the rules separate, but like you can throw this into a plastic bag and take this with you on an airplane. This is a fantastic travel friendly solo puzzle that I thoroughly enjoy. Thoroughly enjoy this one. That's basically your solo playthrough and review of Ravel. Until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. Hope you've enjoyed this solo Sunday, and as always, I hope you have a good one.